Welcome to Knights of the Square Tablet, Episode 6. Your host, Strider the Champ here, and I'm joined by the usual crew. Coach Sorta Dave, we know he's got a great mustache, $1,000 plus mustache. Scotty Games, best voice on Twitch, right? But, Longsword Master, we know him. And we're also joined by the #1 rapier player in Chivalry 2, the legend himself, Ziggy Lotta. What's going on, gentlemen?
It's a bit hot in here.
All right. Well,
yeah, you've got a couple layers on there.
Yeah. Ziggy dressed for the summer update. Apparently, I guess his screen never changed from Winter War, and he's ready to go. But guys, what a week! After 6 months, or around 6 months, we finally get an update, which gives us a ton of things to talk about tonight, gentlemen. We excited for the update, enjoying.
So far, I'm enjoying it. There's some stuff about it, but go on, Ziggy.
This is probably the best update they've ever had, except for the stutters, in my opinion. I think a lot of the changes are very good. I know Dave's not happy, but...
Yeah, I think what's going to be really interesting today is you're going to get 4 probably differing opinions on some things, because I know Dave's real fiery. I watched quite a bit of Ziggy's impression video, and I know he was real positive about it. And, Scotty's pretty much positive about everything. So he's like, yeah, I kind of like it.
No, it's fun.
And,
it feels good.
I have my hot and cold things about the patches, but I think it's going to be a good cast because of that. So I just wanted to start with, Meat is officially back on the menu, gentlemen. PSN has released new players everywhere. Player population just booming. Have you guys got to enjoy the PlayStation noobs?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The 200 takedown games are real.
I know Ziggy's been playing like at least 5 hours a day since the update.
Like 12 hours a day.
What's the top number? What's the top number so far, Ziggs?
12 and a half.
12 and a half? Jesus. Legend. I think the most I've ever streamed was like 5 hours.
Oh, wait. Oh, you mean like at all? Like how much have I streamed?
No, I did
a 24-hour stream.
Yeah. Crazy. So you guys are going to... I didn't know PlayStation Plus was a thing until the Chivalry update came out. I had never heard of it. But I'm happy that it exists. I'm assuming it's a little bit of boost to population, but not like Game Pass. Anyone know if I'm correct in that?
No, I'd actually, the people who decide to download Chivalry 2 right now on PlayStation Plus will keep it forever.
Really?
Yeah, it works exactly like Game Pass did, but I don't know about the number. Are there more people coming from PS? So I don't know, but it feels pretty similar, but maybe not as much as the Game Pass did. But there's
Game Pass
a lot
for sure is going to have way more people.
Yeah.
It's still good, figured though. So because I had never even heard of the PlayStation 1. But so they get to keep it forever. You download it, it's your game.
Yes.
That's an amazing deal. Damn, I gotta get a PlayStation. What do we think? What do we think this is going to change about the player populations? I know Mordhau recently got a pretty big boost, and this is now, I think, our 3rd try releasing to a mass quantity of people. 3rd or 4th.
You know my opinion. It will change nothing.
It'll change nothing.
I think it'll be good if they can stop all the performance issues. I think that's the biggest problem right now. Is just like stuttering is all over the place, and it seems random. Some people on console don't have it. Some people do. I have it. Some other people don't have it.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues, to be honest. I've been watching you a bit, Ziggy, and like I don't know how you stream for 12 hours with the stutter. I couldn't make it too. You're a trooper, dude. But
yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, dude, like that would drive me nuts. But I don't know. I have medium graphics on, particle effects, 144 FPS. I haven't had any issues. So
I only have issues with the new map, but I don't have issues anywhere else.
Yeah.
Performance-wise.
Yeah,
no, I haven't had any issues with performance, but I have issues with the new map, which I'll get into. But I've definitely, and it seems to be hitting different people, because I released a video on it, and a lot of people are like, on PlayStation, it looks fine. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I got a top-end PC, and it looks like Play-Doh. What's going on here, boys? Like, but, so we have the new map, okay? The sacking of Bridgetown, and I'm curious to hear some opinions on it without like kind of pushing anyone. I know Ziggy was very positive on it. So what are we thinking so far? First impressions.
I think the new map is very good, but they made it. I think they made a couple mistakes, but overall, I think it plays good. I think it's fun. The objectives are nice. My biggest issues is that they don't give you a lot of time. Like on Dark Forest, you get like 8 minutes per objective, and on this map, you get like 3. So you got to like bum rush all the objectives, and that sucks. And then the last objective feels like there should be another, and like it's just you throw the nobles out the window, and it's like, oh, this is great, and then it's over.
Yeah, I
I love
totally
noble
feel
tossing too. I love noble tossing. I thought it was great, and I'm waiting for the next step right there. Like this is just getting me ready to go and into the map, and it's over.
To me,
That's how I feel.
To me, the map is insanely quick. A lot of games. The new maps always need some time to really understand if they're fun or not. Especially after all the Game Pass noobs and how does it have longevity, but. Super quick, and I agree with Ziggy. It's like it feels like there should be another objective at the end there. That's like it's a cool objective, but it's and then I've heard the new weapons on the map, like the peasant weapons, are just out of control. I haven't used them myself, and also I played with the horse. The horses, like there's so much stuff to get tripped on that it doesn't feel like there's enough space. I know like nobody really cares, but like I like the horses and I want them to be good, but it just seems like everything is super crammed until you get to that second objective, which is good, but there's still little objects everywhere to get tripped up on, and the Cav sword couching is pretty sick. But
I was expecting a lot more open space in the map in general, just when they announced like the fields and stuff. I was expecting like Aberfell levels of feel of like open world and like a vast environment. I feel like you definitely feel a little bit more tunneled so far. Like everything is just directed right at you just race through the field to the bridge, and then you're kind of in a bottleneck from there. So yeah, no, 100%. I feel that.
I like the map a lot, but it's too short. I feel like I got half a map, but I like what's there. What you said about the horses, the map feels actually well designed for horses. Unlike, I don't know, some of the horse maps. I feel like, okay, there should be...
Thaic with horses has to be
exactly, yeah. Thaic shouldn't have horses at all. But when I'm playing on this map, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where the horse should go. And it feels perfectly fine until I hit a rock. And then I'm like, well, that sucks. Until I hit like a dirt mound that's like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
And the horse doesn't jump over it because horses can't jump. Yeah. And it's just like, it's like, come on, man. Like, I know I'm not going in the exact determined path, but I just want to like go over this little dirt mound and it doesn't work, or go over this rock and it doesn't work. And it ends up just spoiling the mood. So
maybe I'm weird. I've never had an issue controlling horses. I almost never get stuck. I can turn on a dime. I don't have any issues with them.
Yeah, we know that from the mounted event. Ziggy was the only person who knew how to ride the horses.
Yeah,
there's some objects in some of the sides, and then I think like some of the desertion zones are kind of funky too, because with the horse you kind of want to do big turns and stuff, and sometimes you're just kind of going into desertion zones, and like I don't know. I think overall it's okay, but it could feel a little bit better to me with having a little bit more open space. I hate when they cram you into
I don't even think the space is the problem. I think that they could keep the map exactly how it is now and it'd be perfectly fine for horses. It's just whenever any type of rock that, like, I'll tell you, I'm literally going in like an open area, but then there is a 2-inch tall rock, and then my horse bumps into that and just starts spasming and like shifting forward and back, because the game doesn't want to fully like stun me because it knows I didn't hit anything, but it also doesn't want to let me go because it knows there's a rock in the way. So then I just start spasming, and oh man, it's so bad. But like the actual design of the map for the horses is fine. It's just there's some random geometry that gets in the way.
What's interesting to me, is they put all that time into designing, half of the map for the horses. But the best part of the map is when you move past the horses and you get to the actual town, which I thought, even though it's very linear, I thought it was pretty cool. They had a lot of kind of flanking routes and stuff in it, a lot of kind of Easter eggs and interesting items, and then of course the noble tossing. But I thought that was the best part of the map by far once you got out of the fields.
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic, and I would love to... I've only played it maybe a handful of times, like 4 times past that point. But the FPS drops so much for me, or like, and I always have higher ping on that side, so I don't really have too many thoughts on it, but it's kind of cool. I like how they have to go upstairs and NG's set up at the bottom of the stairs. People are coming. It's kind of chaotic right now though, because nobody knows what's going on. But
I enjoyed it. I will say with I think the paths and stuff they added, where you can go around and on stairs and stuff, it kind of spread people out a little bit more than like Lionspire Bridge or like the Falmire Bridge. So it didn't feel as much of a clusterfuck to me as that. And then again, getting to the nobles was a hell of a lot of fun. And what I found really interesting here, boys, is there's a castle in the background of the map where Agatha spawns in at the last stage, and you don't get to attack the castle. Like, we were just gonna loot the nobles and fucking call it a day and back off. Like, what's going on here? So I think there was opportunity missed, because that would have made it epic to me. Like
I mean, they could
let's
always
get through
go
the
back.
nobles and go into the castle. Like, let's go.
They could always go back and update it, like later. Nothing's stopping them from extending it.
Nothing's stopping them, but I think the incentive of releasing a new map with hype kind of will take precedence over fixing an old map. I can almost guarantee they're not going back and adding a section. You know what I mean? Having my experiences so far with the game, but it would be awesome.
As far as the actual map size go, it's actually not any smaller than the other maps. You just bolt through it before you even get a chance to really experience it. It's like a sprint versus a marathon.
Do you think it feels like more of a light version of Civ because of the timers they put on?
Oh yeah,
that's interesting that you said the space is actually the same.
If they just made it like, how you like one building per torch, right? You throw one torch at the building, it lights up. If they extended the amount of torches you need and then gave you like double or maybe even triple the time, it wouldn't feel short at all. It'd feel normal.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with those changes. That would be nice.
It.
Yeah, I didn't get to put the amount of hours in, I think, as you guys yet, but the game I made it to the end, it was myself, Stepbo, and Banker were together in a party on it, and we hauled ass for torches. Like we've really had to grind through getting that done.
Oh, yeah, you got to try.
Period. Yeah, it was like, as soon as the timer hits the start, torches, let's go.
That's why I'm trying to get a lobby tomorrow, like full of like 30 people on a 15v15, like some actually decent players, to see how does the lobby look when you have everyone on the attacking team actually trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
Is it actually balanced? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's defense sided. Is it just defense sided because the timer is short, or is it defense sided because it's actually defense sided?
We've seen that with almost every map that releases until people get a little bit of time with it. Sometimes they learn the meta, they learn the ways, they learn even what they're supposed to be doing. Sometimes it can change a little bit. But I will say the short timer on this one is a little concerning. Because right now, with all the new players, I would say the defense probably isn't trying that much either. So I think you have a lot of people on both sides just with no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell.
It's a short timer. Timer. And I could see a good defensive team with some real good engineers and stuff only having to hold out for 3 minutes. Yeah, it really doesn't give much room for error. What's that? Basically 3 spawn waves you get coming in? 3 or 4 spawn waves?
Like 13.
It's weird because
how much you die, Dave?
On almost every objective in this game, you have multiple points where you can like grab torches, but on this map they only give you one. So if you get like a couple people that sit around the torch pile, nobody can do the objective. And as soon as you finish one, like maybe the first one's hard, but as soon as you finish the first area and you go to the second area, the estate, the first torch pile shuts off. You're not allowed to grab it from there anymore. So you have to go to the new one and push through the entire team to grab the one torch pile again. And so the only way you can like make the objectives easier is by saving the torches from the first pile and then using them to quickly burn down the estate or the fields on the next one. Yeah, it's like it feels like they didn't. I hate to say it. It feels like they didn't test it very much.
That's what I said too. I said in my video today, I was like, if they let one of us, I think, play through the map just one time before release, we could have probably given a lot of good feedback on what needed to change.
No, we release. They have no regard for QA, dude. They just release now, and they pray.
I asked Moon. This wasn't regarding the map, but I asked him in general, like, hey, can we get stuff released on test servers? Like combat chases and stuff that would be very easy for us to just hop in a server and test before we get it to go live, and he just said no.
Well, I mean, that's not his decision, but I'm sure there's a company line and a reason on that. I was curious if in my head I was like, maybe they just didn't want feedback from the veterans, because then that sometimes brings like negative vibes out before the map even releases. So I feel like if they run a test server and we're all bitching and moaning across the internet, and then they have it release, a week later, it kind of kills hype a little bit. Then rather than here, it's releasing today, here you go. And now anything you say after this, the hype's already there, so it doesn't matter as much because we got people on. So I'm curious if that is a little bit behind it. But I think Dave said before, anyway, when we did have PTR, you give a ton of feedback and they don't change anything anyway because it releases a week after the PTR. So unless anything's like legitimately so broken that PCs are bricking, it's coming.
Every bug that we experienced during the Thaic Stronghold playtest got fixed this update, not when Thaic released.
Yeah. So we got like a 6-month turnover. I wish they would go a little bit more towards hot fixes with some of this stuff. Just, kind of chunk away 5 things at a time rather than one massive thing of 100. But it would just make it feel a little bit better.
Well, I think we'll be getting hot fixes this time with the amount of people that have stuttering issues and performance issues and stuff. They kind of need it more now than ever. And the map is like, I struggle to think how many PlayStation players have like played on the playlist that only has the one map and not gotten to see the rest of it.
Probably a lot because it's the first thing you click.
Mm-hmm.
And on the issues, so it seems everyone's experience with this is different, but when I first got on the map, I thought my game was broken. And you guys can go back to my Discord and see I was bitching and fucking tagging people for like fixes. Like, anyone know if this is the thing? Because the textures or something are wrong. Like, they're so off and the map looks so horrible on my game that like all the characters look like Play-Doh. The trees, like, it's just green blobs, and then as I get close to them, all of a sudden apples and stuff are appearing.
Yeah, it looks like they might have optimized things by just turning down the number of triangles.
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, this can't be right. And I went into Scotty's stream to see if he had the same thing. I'm like, it is so fucking desaturated that I feel like I can't see. Like, I can't even tell who's on my team. Like, and it's like, this is just how it is. But I can't believe that's what it's supposed to look like. I don't know.
Sounds like you installed Sunder's like config. Like, you ever see Sunder's gameplay?
Yes, I went into my Discord and I was like, did Sunder make it into my house when I was at work and fucking upload his config to my PC to screw with me? Is the first thing I thought. I was like, oh my god, my game looks like Sunder's. Like, I'm like, my eyes are literally bleeding right now.
Sunder's RuneScape config.
And it's actually kind of like ruined the map for me because it's so jarring and annoying me so badly while I play it that I feel like I'm more focused on watching like the blobs of tree come in than I am on actually playing the game. And even the intro video to me looks completely jacked. Like, there's no textures on the people's faces. I don't know what's going on, but it can't be right.
You're spawning in with a different weapon that you chose. That bug's back.
Yeah, that's a new bug. It just changes your class. And I thought maybe it had to do with the new sword, but I could be playing something completely different. It just gives me a different loadout.
It seems to move me one class to the left of whatever I pick. So I don't know if there's any legitimacy behind that, how it worked, but it really wanted me on a war axe. So, and it did the same thing on Footman too when I was trying. I'd go with the Cav sword and it would spawn me with the halberd.
Well, it's weird because then one time I picked halberd and it spawned me with polehammer.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever figure that one out, but I hope that one's gone soon because that's one of those small things that could really irritate the hell out of you. Can you imagine if you're playing in like a competitive event and everyone spawns with the wrong weapons? It's just like a complete clusterfuck of randomness for the first fight.
I'll get to that. Don't worry about that.
Oh boy, Dave. All right.
Maybe we should we should talk about combat now. I think. I want to hear Dave's opinion on stuff. He's itching, dude. Look at him.
I'm just gonna. I'm
itching.
Then, and if we go on combat, let's go into combat.
Let's go over the good things first.
Yeah. Let's do Ziggy. Ziggy, go first.
Go ahead.
Then
go ahead, Ziggy. Go ahead.
I think the parry changes are perfect. I don't find the parry box is too wide now. I think it's a perfect size. I don't get hit through my block anymore unless it's like a netcode ping issue. They seems like I got it right first try after they changed it. I love it. All my counters work now. It's great.
Yeah, I found that I've also had a fun time just having things worked. I remember the first day it came out, and I was just like, oh my god, like shit's just working as I expected to. So that's my favorite part about it. I have some reservations though about the size of the counter windows. I mean, people are hitting me from behind, and some weird stuff is happening that, and I can't hit people from, or sorry, people aren't hitting me from behind. I'm like directly behind someone trying to stab them, and they'll still counter me. When I run into higher level players, it takes a lot of time sometimes to grind through them because like we just are constantly countering each other. I don't know. Solder, what do you got?
Regarding the block change, I don't mind it, but I have multiple clips now of me blocking people that I can't even see on my screen. Remember, I play first person. So it's either have people hit me when I am trying to block them, or people blocking me when I'm trying to hit them. I don't really have a preference. I don't care either way. Anyway,
I have some theories on why that happens. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I think I know why. Like sometimes people block from behind, and I think it's because try to imagine like you're connecting to the server with, let's say, 40 milliseconds of latency, and then the person you're fighting has like, I don't know, 60 milliseconds of latency, and you're like, you got a delay on his screen, right? I think it's based on his client, not yours. So even though it looks like he's blocking from behind, like you might have been like just delay everything. Like you turn to the left on his screen, you're turning to the left like 100 milliseconds later. So it looks like he's blocking from behind, but he's not.
That might be a good theory, but I'm pretty sure that like I'm watching a guy for at least 5 seconds and he doesn't turn around or anything, and I still can't get to him.
We've tested it with no movement just to make sure that type of stuff isn't what's happening, and it's still screwed. I can block people that aren't on my screen at max FOV, but then again, first person looks like you're looking through a James Bond intro, so you never know.
Well, if I'm wrong, then that's even scarier.
Yes. But anyway, the good stuff. One, the nerf to any weapon with stamina drain negation is nice. Having it be 10% instead of 20% is good. Two, Qatar buff. Doesn't really do anything, but at least they're less dog water. So cool. Then that's
Never
about
used them, so don't plan on it. So
the making jabs slightly thinner is also good. Kind of, not a lot of people are going to notice it, to be honest, even on the competitive side, but it's a good change, so good. And that's where it ends. That's where the good changes end. Okay? Now everything just goes to shit. All right? The dual servers, all servers are screwed. Vote kicking is completely broken. You can't vote kick people, so all competitive play is basically impossible. Moderator support for events is down, sometimes up, but mostly down. So you can't get an event. You can't hijack a server for an event because you can't vote kick randoms. You can't even vote kick randoms in normal dual servers if they're breaking the rules. There are no moderators on. You would think, oh man, there's about to be a bunch of new players. Maybe we should get the moderators on the servers to moderate. No, they don't care. I don't think I've seen a single moderator in weeks, and the only moderator that I know is on vacation. So screw me. Overall, the world's going to shit. They added this jab cooldown after a dodge. Pretty controversial change. I don't like it. I think the only thing that should cause a jab cooldown is a jab, but that's just me. Some people like it, I know, but I don't. And the quarterstaff, they nerfed it. It's not that it shouldn't have been nerfed, but now that it has the same stamina drain negation as the heavy mace, it kind of doesn't have a reason to exist. At least nobody that I know is going to pick it, so doesn't matter.
So it does still have a really big benefit. You can still hold parry for like 10,000 years. That part's still there.
Yeah, I'm not a nooblet. And so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. The shield has a glitch where it's invisible and you can't see it now. But it's client side, I guess, so it's not that big of a deal. Still annoying. Still have that glitch where I don't get my weapon skin. I think that glitch is going to be here for the rest of my life, and I'm going to suffer. And a lot of people are complaining that feint to parry is a lot slower in general. I don't know if I've noticed it, but honestly, it's placebo at this point, whether it's happening to me or not. So I'm still feeling the effects of it. Overall, combat is just worse. The actual balance changes they made to weapons and stuff and jabs I like, but the actual combat just feels worse. It feels worse. And we can't even play competitive, so it's not even like I could test it realistically. So everything's just gone to shit.
Isn't there supposed to be a comp event this weekend? I keep getting pings about LTS or something. So
Yeah.
There is one tournament that's supposed to be happening this weekend. It may or may not work. So
okay. Sounds about right. That's par for the course, no? Like,
yeah, but it's just really bad. It's really, really bad. It's not getting better. This update was like good in some ways, but really, really bad in others. So definitely not happy about it. In regards to combat specifically, I'm very disappointed with the update. It did not do what I wanted to. The balance changes were fine, but I don't agree with some of them.
What did you want done to combat out of curiosity?
Well, some of the stuff they did, I actually did want. Heavy mace nerf, poleaxe nerf, Qatar buff, quarterstaff nerf, jab with reduction. I didn't really think I wanted that. I never actually thought about that, but it's not a bad change at all. And that's pretty much it. If they stopped there, I would have been fine. But, they didn't. So, just sucks.
What do you think of what do you think of the shield changes? I know
like
for
that.
me, who doesn't use the shield, like throwing it down the back and actually having a benefit, because I'm doing that anyway, is nice. Can't get shot in the back.
I'm completely fine with that too. I really like that change actually. So I guess I forgot to mention that on the good thing, but for me, I'm playing in first person, then I just hear clunk and my head shakes like violently, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I blocked an arrow.
At least you know.
I like it. It's really
cool. Turn around and make a V line for the archer.
Yeah, it is really cool. I like it a lot. So I have no problem with it.
I saw Ziggy shake his head. Is he shocked that I put the shield away?
No, I think the shield changes are perfect. You can block barrels, Dane axes, big rocks, anything. Yes. I've been making it a habit to turn around instead of actually blocking the projectiles now, just so I can style a little bit.
Give him the backside.
See a guy wind up Dane axe just 180.
I mean, it's going to be huge, I think, for free-for-all, where everyone's tossing like crazy to get free kills. I haven't gone in with a one-hander yet. I mean, if there's no vote kicking, I probably won't go back until there is, just because I don't feel like getting trolled all game and stuff.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible.
But I think I could see that being a thing. If you get on, like, especially, I'm sure Ziggy probably gets it similar to me. If I go in a free-for-all server with my normal name, I am getting more shit chucked at me than probably everyone else combined in the server. So having that shield would be,
It's not any different. I'm just a projectile magnet no matter what I do.
No, exactly. If I go in on my Steam account, no one throws shit at me. But if I'm on my main one, I'm going to get tossed at the whole time. So, like, I could see that being a good thing on there.
As far as the other combat changes, like, Soda Dave doesn't like the jabs. I like the jab changes. I like the dodge cooldown on jabs because, I mean, I've only ever seen dodge to jab used in a really toxic way. Like, somebody jabs, you try to back up, they dodge towards you, jab again. I've never seen it been used without malicious intent, I guess is the best way I can put it.
I don't think dodge should circumvent jabs. I just don't think it should add a jab cooldown. So if somebody jabs and then dodges, I don't think that they should get their jab back. I just don't think that it should cause a jab cooldown. That's what they've made.
Yeah, I can see that. But then how do you make that? Because the jab cooldown is like... Right, like if you were just jab and then wait and then jab again, that's like the length of the dodge. If you just dodge, you've now negated the whole cooldown by dodging.
All you have to do is just make it to where the cooldown freezes when you're dodging. That way, if you jab, dodge, you have to wait the full cooldown. But if you do nothing, dodge and jab, there is no cooldown. The only thing that should cause a jab cooldown is a jab. That's what I think.
Dave,
yeah, I can see that.
Do you think it'll have any effect on like the competitive like metas and stuff? Or
yes, 1vx will be extremely difficult, and everyone that's being attacked by two people will be spammed with special attacks. And when they try and dodge, they'll die.
I don't agree as much, but I mean that's just from me and my gameplay. I tend to not fall victim to too many special attack spams, even if they're thrown at me. But I just have really good movement in these games. It's like the only thing I'm good at.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying, Dave, that you can't now jab in the 1vx's because then you don't have.
You can still jab. It's just What they changed was they made it to where when you dodge, that causes a jab cooldown. And I'm saying there's really no reason why that should exist. It doesn't do anything. The only reason I could see them making this change is for duels, but I don't care about duels, and it didn't even do that much in duels. What was really aggressive with it was the throwing knife jab, where it was they called it a bug. It was just how they made it, where your jab would have increased speed when you had a throwing knife in your hand. They call everything an exploit or a bug, right? They don't know anything. But because you can't do that anymore, jab to dodge to jab isn't really that big of a deal. And like I said, you can just have dodge freeze the jab cooldown, so they can't do that. At the end of the day, jabbing after a dodge is just like a basic thing. You don't want dodge to affect anything. It shouldn't. It's just a dodge. It should be completely separate. And it's not much faster than just jabbing and then jabbing after that. And like I said, if you really wanted it to be where people can't spam jab, dodge, jab, just freeze the cooldown. But don't make it to where it adds a random arbitrary cooldown afterwards, because there's not really any bad gameplay. I have tons of clips where I've dodged away from someone jabbing me, and then I can't jab them back because there's the jab cooldown now, and it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten as much time in on the patch yet until this weekend as you guys, so I don't really have any opinions on it yet. I need to get more gameplay, and the majority of the time I was on, we were just absolutely smashing the PlayStation players. So, how's the difference on the stab drags? I know they did some nerfs to the stab drags. Is it anything actually like that you can feel, or is it just?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's a good change. I don't get hit through my block anymore. Like I try to block an attack and it actually works. But when I'm playing offensively with the rapier, I can still stab drag around people. It's just a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. It feels like a fair stab drag as opposed to bullshit.
The super last second ones where you might have already missed and you're able to pull it back, and those things are gone. Yeah,
with the longsword, I'm definitely feeling like I can't get around people's blocks as much, obviously. I have to do like extra work if I want to, like, I have to do way more movement left and right to kind of fool people to getting around their counters and stuff. Which I think is good in general, because I felt like there were some things about longsword that needed some work, especially with the stab.
Those subtle light stab drags were really powerful.
Yeah,
really powerful.
And I think it's in a much better spot, but I still think when you're engaging with a higher level player, it just takes so much longer now to kill people. Like the time to kill, I feel like has increased a bit, and I'm still getting used to it. Like I'm with you, Strida. Like I haven't played probably as much as the other two guys there, but like I'm really feeling an increase in time to kill and just crazy blocks from behind. Those are my two biggest complaints. I don't know much about the jab changes. I think I agree a little bit with Ziggy on the jabs. Like, I'm not at Solder's level with the duels or anything, but I haven't felt too much of a change with the jabs, to be honest. But
I've said it before. Worse. Every jab change they made is fine, besides the one, to me, of course, my opinion, that added a jab cooldown after dodge. They made jabs slower in a lot of different situations. That's fine, right? They reduced the width of them, also fine. I actually wish they reduced the depth of the jab as well to how it was before 2.7, but they'll never do that because they hate me. And like, it's just that one thing.
They do legitimately.
Everyone says
that is 100%.
I don't know.
I thought they hated me.
I think Dave and Sunder.
You haven't made it until TB hates you, I guess.
Most hated by
no,
yeah,
you really haven't made it till they hate you. And so, you don't understand, man. The competitive community has been begging to have jabs returned to where they were in 2.7, and like, it seems like now they're just experimenting with jabs, just doing random stuff to see what sticks to the wall. And I think everyone's already gone doomer mode, where they just don't even bother giving their feedback anymore. You look in the feedback form, no one actually gives any feedback on the jabs now with all the changes, whether they like them or dislike them. Everyone's just like, whatever, I'm not going to listen anyway.
I have been quietly in the private channels championing the cause of that. There is a partner program for creators who Torn Banner has partnered with, And a great use would be to actually use the partnership to let us give them some feedback. Because
Oh, yeah,
right now
right.
we don't do anything. There's no purpose. You get in the program and that's it. You made it.
So they look in the feedback forum and they take some stuff, but obviously it's selective hearing, you know? They even put on some of my feedback forums, right? Like, resolved, right? Not really. He didn't resolve that, but fine, whatever. Like, I think Mood, right, for the guitar buff, I suggested like all these different things, and he took like the one thing that said 60 damage on the leaping strike, and he wrote resolved on the whole thread.
Look, man, take any win you can get, brother. That's
Right?
a change. It's hard
Speaking
to get a
of
change
which,
in the game.
I'll go over another thing, which I'm actually a little bit tilted at. A lot of problems with this update, right? Do you remember when Tenosia first came out and they had 2 armor sets shared among their 4 classes? Mm-hmm. Okay, right? I berated them for that. I said that was disgusting, right? I like to see what class I'm fighting. And I think that's pretty important. Obviously, this game is in TF2, but I still like to know what class I'm fighting. I think it's decently important. And they eventually decided to change it in the reinforced update by adding 2 more armor sets to Tenosia and removing the original armor sets from 2 classes, basically making it to where each class had 1 armor set. But now they're back on their old shit because this new armor set they added in the Tenosia looks exactly the same on Footman and Knight with like slight differences. And it's just like they learn nothing.
I mean, I can tell the difference.
Obviously, you can tell the difference, but it's not. It's the silhouette is almost exactly the same, besides a little plate and a color difference. They wear the same pants.
I can see that, I guess.
It's incredible. It's way too similar. Way too similar to justify it. I don't like that at all. It definitely looks amazing. The armor set looks great, but it shouldn't be so similar on 2 different classes. I genuinely thought my Footman was a knight in the customization menu when I put it on. I'm not joking.
All right, since we're getting into Tenosia, I think this is a good segue into let's spend some time talking about our new weapon. It's been a long time coming since we got something, and we got the heavy cavalry sword. And I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it. I was expecting the worst, but it feels like a legitimate weapon, which I love to see. I'm sick of the niche stuff. Katars I thought were completely stupid. You guys know I hate the quarterstaff. So it feels like an actual medieval weapon to me. I'm already kind of pleased. I think it needs some changes. But how are you guys liking it so far?
I don't even think it needs a buff or a nerf. I think it's in a very, very good spot right now where it feels extremely effective it feels good in duels. It feels good in 1vx. It's the best weapon on Guardian by far. Like, Guardian just doesn't have an option with that much range or versatility. Like, you can get Warhammer, but you got the range of like a thumbtack, so it's not great.
It slaps.
But then you go on like Lionspire Bridge, right? And it's a nightmare to actually do anything because you try to hit one person, you get hit every side, and then there's a guy behind you because you had to get so close, which is why weapons like Halberd are so good because you can just sit back and not get swarmed. But it's really good on every class. It's got a unique feeling to it because it's got really slow windups and really fast release phase. The only thing that people can really complain about is that it does low damage per hit, but I feel like it needs to do low damage per hit. Otherwise, it'd be too good.
Yeah, people were saying that it should be buffed when I was streaming and playing with it in my chat, but I agree. I think it's in a great spot. Almost sometimes I'm like, damn, this sword might be better than like longsword in a lot of ways. You get a shield, like it. I'm just like, damn, dude, like this puts like longsword in a worse spot for me. But overall, I agree, man. It feels great. Immediately when I started using it, it feels great. I used it on the horse as well. Then the couching with it is cheap.
Oh yeah.
The couching with it is way too cheap. I immediately was just 11-0 immediately on the new map. I spawned in with a horse and I got like a quadruple kill with the couching, and it doesn't work like the lance where it stops, it like hit stops. No, you can just keep plowing through noobs with it. It's crazy.
I've never seen Scotty smile so much as when he's talking about this.
Because I was like,
this
is what the horse
now we know
plays
who they're
about.
catering the updates to.
I agree with the Zigster. The weapon is in quite literally a perfect spot. I don't know how they got it, but it is perfectly balanced. It feels unique enough. The competitive community apparently loves it, but they basically denounced its cavalry mechanics and just call it the cutlass sometimes. And that's fine. I love it so much. It's probably one of my favorite weapons now. And even if you did agree that it wasn't that good, which I don't, it's amazing on horseback. So, like, let's just say that you said it wasn't that good. Dude, it's doing 160 damage on horseback runs. It's like, come on, chill out.
It's insane, bro.
While swinging as fast as a sword. Like, bro, it's genuinely a very good weapon. And if you say otherwise, then just, I don't know, press K for Cavalry Wave, and then it will be good. So, I mean, really, that's true. You can have weapons be niche, and that's okay. And it's not niche.
I've really enjoyed using it. I've really enjoyed the length on it. You know, get a little reach on that one-hander is really nice, and I feel like it feels just fast enough, and it feels a little weighty. You know, which is nice. I feel like you can excel it, you can drag it. I thought maybe a very slight boost to the overhead damage to give it a little bit more. It's supposed to be kind of weighty. I would have loved to have seen that. I think that's the only change I would really make to it.
The only change I would make to it,
it feels very well balanced. It feels like a really good start. It feels like a really good start.
The only change I would make to it is I would change the special on foot. The special on foot, not the special on horseback.
You didn't like the special?
I do, but that's the thing. It's too good. It's too good of a special.
Because I was like, it's awesome.
Yeah, no. At the moment, it's really, really good, and I don't know. I don't think it deserves to have that great of a special on land. So I think I was hoping that it would have a unique special, like the quarterstaff or the, or something like that.
Too.
Let's be real. In a month, no one will be playing Mounted Warfare, so it'll be a land-based weapon. So
I guess. And yeah, I was still hoping that it would have something that wasn't another weapon special, like taped onto it, because we already have. If you look on Man at Arms, like, a lot of the weapons share specials, and that's fine, but I don't like it more. Like when you see the rapier special, like, that's cool. And the quarterstaff special, even though it was broken, you thought that was cool. Now that it works, it's cool.
And the Highland Sword special, it sucks, but it's still cool.
But it sucks, but it's cool, right? And so same thing for this thing. It's like, it just is kind of the mace special, but on the Cavalry Sword. It feels wrong. It feels wrong for me to go like boom, like whacking someone with a mallet, but with my Cavalry Sword.
No, I don't know. I like the feel of it. I think it feels like you would attack like a saber.
Amazing.
I liked it.
It's like the best special in the game.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I liked it.
I don't mind it being similar to the mace special. I don't. I don't know. Maybe
it's a tiny gripe. It's a tiny gripe. I'll live if it never gets changed. I will still be happy.
He's always got to have something, right?
Exactly.
Scotty?
No, I think it's an amazing weapon.
Well, I think what Dave also wants to see is like a special that makes the weapon even more unique than it is.
Exactly.
And I can side with that, but I still think it's fine. I
understand that. I understand that because it's called a special attack. If you play something like Street Fighter, the guy's specials aren't the same. So
exactly.
I think the ideal would be every weapon has its own sort of special attack that's unique to it.
This is one of the best weapon additions ever. It is better than Highland Sword. It is better than Guitar. Even though I like Guitar more, it is better than the. It's better than a lot of the weapon additions that we've gotten. It's basically on par with Rapier for me for quality.
To me, 100%. This and the Rapier, to me, by far, just blow away the other weapons that they release post the actual game coming out. And to me, it's because they feel like legitimately real weapons. They don't feel like something that's so niche and so specialized. I think there's too much focus on trying to be cute and unique with some of these things. When let's just make a weapon. Right, like let's just make a legitimate medieval weapon. There's so many options out there.
I still think there's room for them to maybe even go back and add a different special attack. Because I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna really complain too much if they swap it out for something more unique.
Well, I mean, we're not going to complain about the current special when we're slaughtering everyone with it either.
Exactly. Yeah, that current special is amazing.
Fine.
It's like so strong. That's the only reason I said add a unique special. But anyway, we can agree that it's going to blow the goat and dog out of the water. So
yeah, but you know what? To me, though, it might not be the best weapon of the update because I don't know if you guys picked up the sickle in the beginning of the peasant stage, but that's got to be the strongest thing ever put in the game.
There's a peasant weapon that's stronger than that. It's called the hammer. Pick up the hammer. It's another peasant weapon. Does more damage and it's faster.
Skull was telling me the broken sword. There's a broken sword near some horseshoes or something on the third objective. He said it's even worse then
It's even worse.
yeah,
Than sickle.
I don't know.
why
I don't know.
these
I've never
I
used
can't
it.
imagine being like anything worse. I was just gambling the fuck out of everyone I went up to, and no one could stop it. Just boom, 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 boom,
I'm
boom,
telling you,
done.
the hammer is so fast that when I combo with it, they active parry my combo when they riposte me.
Jesus.
That happens to me
Is
with
it-
the sickle.
Yeah, they're that fast. It's just crazy. It's like you can't even you're breaking the game rules right there.
I think it's funny. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really
It's
care.
hilarious. I love it. I love it. I was fighting with a greatsword against a sickle last night, and I couldn't even get a riposte off against them. It was just like I was finished. I gotta wait for someone to kill him and just block. I cannot attack him when I was gambling. But it's so amazing. I like when they have interesting and strong weapons on the map. One of my favorite things used to be when the jousting lances didn't break. And you get a squad of people.
Come on,
that was
come
so
on,
much
Strida.
It was
Come
so much fun.
on.
Scotty, I know you're feeling me on this one.
They need to
I mean,
chuck those lances
I
out
mean,
of the game, man.
I think they did a good change. Let's just say that by
Oh
making
my
it breakable.
God.
Yeah.
Those
I
lances
think
do
that's a
not
good
belong.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally
Why?
a long. Listen, it's you. Do you complain about spear users?
Not really.
No, okay.
I complain about archers
Yeah, dude, you know.
all the time. Archers and tossers.
Spear man.
Strida,
Throwing
a,
knives.
A
Throwing
great
knives,
thing against
catapults.
archers is
Yeah, I
horses.
generally don't complain about spears though. That's on my list. One of the few things.
That's one of the funnest thing on the new maps is just going on horseback, walking on over, not even galloping, but just cantering on over to their little archer nest, and then they're just like, tunnel vision, and then you just one shot them with the cavalry sword. You just swoop, and then they're dead.
The level of brain dead archers out right now is just on.
Or
It's
just in general,
amazing.
just getting
It's
hit by
amazing.
all your teammates if you have any ounce of blood on you.
Oh, the
You know?
teammate tax is strict this
Yeah,
year.
dude.
It is.
Okay.
It's heavy toll.
Have you guys seen the apple tree on the new map?
Nah.
There's a
I do
tree.
once I get really close to it and it finally loads in, but I can't
No, no,
tell
no.
what an apple tree is from more than 10
There-
feet.
There's an apple tree, and when you hit it, it causes you to take damage, and an apple comes down and hits you on the head. And my goal right now, I want to get a new player down to like 1 health and have him hit the tree.
No. Kill him
and
with
kill-
the apple tree. Jesus.
Because you can't like hit other people with the apples, only yourself. Whoever hits the tree trunk, like an apple comes down. And I have to kill a new player with that.
Well, that'll be easy sauce.
Well, I mean, depends how much damage it does, right?
It's got to do like 5 damage.
Yeah, it's got
Dude,
to
a
be
piece
low.
of paper
apple.
in this game does 30 damage.
That is true. That is true.
You get the sickle. You get the sickle, and you start hitting the tree trunk. It's like a machine gun.
I don't. How did you even find this?
I was hitting it on accident. And I was getting hit by apples, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Oh my god! Raining apples on your head.
Yeah,
and
because I didn't see
dying.
anybody throwing apples at me, and I was just getting hit. Like it's got a unique sound effect, but it's where's it coming from?
I saw you got a hobby horse also in one of your videos.
Oh yeah,
It seemed like you were a fan of the hobby horse.
it's a stupid joke because it's what the Man at Arms from Chivalry 1 says.
Yeah, your wife is a hobby
That's my
horse.
favorite line in the game. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Your wife is a hobby horse.
Exactly. That's the
Not Ryan
best to me.
Buckley.
I think
love
that was a pretty
Ryan.
good impression. I don't know if you're as good as Moon Moon's like peasant impressions,
Of course
but
not.
yeah. Speaking of him, he asked me not to have everyone roast him today. But I think we have to do like a special edition cast where we all plan a roast of Moon Moon and do like 5 minutes.
Moon doesn't do much wrong. It's whoever wrangles him.
He plays
Those-
Archer sometimes though.
Oh,
so,
that is wrong. Never mind.
So
Never mind.
my books, sometimes a shame.
Jen's an archer main.
God,
I'm
pains
not-
my heart. Pains my heart.
Okay.
Now,
look,
now I know why all the combat changes sometimes are a little wonky because everyone's playing Archer over there. So we can thank the 2 of them for the takedown changes.
Right. Oh,
Which,
yeah. 25, that's got to be a little absurd. I mean, I understand they want the longbow to get some kills, but oh my god, that's like
Well, not kills. They want them to get
takedown. Yeah,
assists.
my boy, he already got a 200 takedown game with like 5 kills.
Well, this is how you know that that Torn Banner is slowly moving towards being like almost AAA studio. They got a big group, but anything like Call of Duty, they're all about making the casuals feel like they're being effective and contributing to the game. So now every time someone shoots a longbow shot, they get an assist. The game ends. Wow, I contributed on 50 kills. I only got 4 of them, but I contributed on 50. I feel good about myself.
I don't think it's a problem. I think Chivalry, in
not-
comparison to say Mordhau,
It's a nothing burger, yeah.
yeah. It like in comparison to Mordhau's so punishing for a new player to get into because it's just like if you get killed as a new player, you just gave that guy like a health kit. Like you're useless. But even Chivalry 1 was so good about letting a new player do something. It doesn't matter if he's dying more times than he's doing like getting assists. He's doing something because he can just run forward and hit trade people with the Zweihander. He doesn't have to give a shit. And I think that's important because that's what keeps people around. Like that's what kept me around when I was playing, and then I learned how to play, and the rest is history. If you punish people and make them not have any fun at all when they're starting off, they're not going to stick around.
I tolerate the change.
Yeah, I mean, I
think it's good.
don't think it matters because everyone's just going to get more assists. So all it does is just bloat the numbers on the end of the game.
Exactly.
I think previously when takedowns were 50 damage, it only rewarded a couple weapons, and then it had like really uneven things, like where I hit a Vanguard with a halberd slash, and it only does 45, then he dies. I didn't get a takedown. Why? Maybe I'm using the one-handed sword. I didn't get a takedown. Why? I just didn't do the right attack. And then you start to prioritize the attacks that do 50 damage just because, and then you use greatsword all the fucking time because it does 50 damage.
If you made it 45, the longbow would get some kills. Some takedowns.
That's true. They could have made it like 40, 45 in that area, but
I told you this is
whatever.
a PlayStation change. And I was talking to Dave about this. I'm like, it's fine because you know what's going to happen? They might get more takedowns, but then they're going to see me with 200 at the top, so they're going to feel exactly the same way that they would if there was no changes. So.
Hey, but their number is still better than their friends. It's better than their friends. They're not going to compare to you. They're going to be like, hey, dude, I got more assists, bro.
Oh, my God. It's so funny sometimes watching the new players. We were on Aberfell the other day, and they were all bringing the pigs back to the boat we spawned on, and we just couldn't get them to stop. It was so funny. We lost at point one. All the pigs were gone pretty quickly, but at least they were attempting to do the objective, so respect, you know.
Is it time to really rail this update?
I think let's before we rail it too much, let's get it. I think the biggest ticket item for me, at least, which we haven't talked about yet, but for the community, it's huge. It's got to be the crossplay. And have you guys tested it out?
Yeah, I've been using it. Yeah,
great.
It works.
Even if I'm sorry.
Go.
Even if I'm not partying up with everybody, it's so nice because I have so many viewers that want to play with me that now I can at least see where they are. Like I have a console player, his name's Warrior. He plays with me almost all the time, every day for hours a day. And he's always assisting me, but I couldn't see where he was because he's not on my friends list. And now it's just, even that alone is nice.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing here. I've had people who've now, over a year will religiously stream snipe my lobbies because they're on console to get to play with me. And now they're taking 30 minutes to get into the right one. It's just, I'm so happy just for the community now that I can party up with those guys. There have been some people who've just been wanting to come in with me for a party for a year. And even for Torn Banner, man, like they made a promise and they actually fulfilled it. I feel like it's a big win for them. It's a big win.
I made a joke.
Some community like trust back.
I made a joke that they weren't confident with its functionality because they called it a beta, right? And they literally had beta written on it. But I've had basically like no issues. I had one issue where I couldn't queue after I formed the party, but like we just broke off, made another party, and then it worked fine.
Well, it might be causing stutters for everybody.
I haven't stuttered.
The only thing I would say, well, it works great. I only had like a few issues with the same issues that we've had with inviting people and then they didn't get it and then you got to restart or someone needs whatever. Is like the friend code. I wish that it just sent you like a notification like request, but because it's kind of annoying. You send it out, you don't know if they got it, then they send yours. It works, but notification would be kind of nice.
Adding people is a little weird, right? Like I send someone a friend request and then like they get literally nothing. Like they don't know when it's coming, they don't see anything. Right. But then all of a sudden I just pop up after they refresh it like 20 times. So that's literally a non-issue. I don't care.
And that's something that hopefully this is something that they take serious enough that beta tag is there for a reason, and now we're going to see improvements to the system. It's not we're going to have the beta tag there, and next patch we're going to be like, okay, it works, so we're just going to remove the tag without making any changes. Hopefully all that stuff is stuff that's coming and that we keep adding to the system, because I mean it's just so good for community engagement. We don't know how big the community is going to be for how long, but we have people on every console who want to be involved in competitive events, who want to get into password servers, who want to play with people on other consoles. It just keeps people engaged in the game for longer, which is, what we want after it's going to be 2 years, I think now. So, you got to keep the people engaged, and I think it's just great. It's great.
Yeah.
Now I am excited. I think tomorrow I'm going to bring a full party of console boys with me and slaughter some new console boys. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. A year in the making. But yeah, super excited for that. Dave, I know you had something you wanted to say.
I was just going to rip into the update more, but I don't have
Weird
to.
change. If you're playing on Steam, now you can join people's parties through Steam, even if they're in a game. So it's almost like we have a join game button.
Oh shit! Did not.
So
know
people
that.
join my party while I'm in a match, and then when the next map
no.
starts, that pulls them into the lobby, which is nice for some people.
That's a feature that I
That's
would
nice
like to
for the people
see.
trying to join. I guess if you don't want anyone
Yeah,
joining you,
you know
that's
what
a
would
little
be,
bit-
you know what solve a lot of the party issues? A join game button that works in the matchmaking.
Yes,
That would be
please.
lovely.
That is the biggest thing that we
A
need.
crazy suggestion, Ziggs. Crazy.
Speaking of crazy suggestions,
Outlandish.
I'm really tired of making the game think I live in Texas so I can connect to Chicago. Really odd that I have to use a VPN every single day to get to the right region. It'd be nice to just pick a box and tell it, but what do I know?
Well, I wonder why you can't pick region. That's really weird.
I really don't know why.
Dave,
It's so
care to
bizarre.
enlighten us?
What?
I said, you care to enlighten us? Why?
Oh, it's just a feature of most games. You can just pick the region that you want to queue in. That way, if you aren't finding a lobby, you can just queue in another region as well, and then queue in both simultaneously. Instead of
true.
randomly getting West server when you're East. You could just lock out West completely, and then
I
it
would
won't
say
it won't happen.
90% accuracy I get put in the East. Every now and then it throws me in Paris, France. I don't know why.
Wouldn't you like to make it 100?
Yeah, but
There you go.
I've played worse. I'm pretty tolerant of things at this point in my game.
Yeah, of course. I've said
Just
before
back
that
out, join another lobby.
it'd be nice to be able to pick the game modes that you want to queue, and then be able to queue for multiple game modes at a time, as well as queuing for the right region. So I could pick I want to play NA East and NA Central on 40 player and mounted warfare, either or, and then just roll the dice and then see what happens. But that's pretty advanced, so I don't expect to see that in my lifetime. That would be changing everything.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes here. Dave, let's hear what we were about to rip into, and then I think we'll just get to some closing thoughts, and then we'll take some questions from the chats at the end.
Yeah, I was just going to be Doomer mode. It's a good update in general, but it's it doesn't feel like enough. We waited twice the amount of time we normally do for what seems like basically the same amount of content. I mean, some people even say the map is just not as
I would say
good.
a light version of a map to me.
Yeah, I always listen. I'm actually quite generous when it comes to the content that they make. I don't dislike a single team objective map, and I don't dislike any of the weapon additions they made that much. Right? I tolerate the Highland Sword and stuff. And even for their cosmetics, I don't dislike them that much either. But if you're gonna take 6 months to drop an update, or 5 months, or however long it was, and then it ends up with just mixed as the results, right? Not even universal praise. That's pretty bad. That's just how it is.
This update kind of feels like what the reinforced update should have been.
Yeah.
The reinforced to me really felt like, oh, they're going to improve the combat. They're going to work on cross party, and just I don't really care for the new map that much. But all the stuff that came with this update is
The
pretty
reinforced update was advertised as a quality of life patch,
Yeah.
but it ended up not becoming that later on, and they stopped marketing it as that such later, when it actually released. But this update is not a bad update. It is a decent update, but it took way too long for what is essentially the same thing that we're used to. New map, new weapon, new battle pass, bye. And then they're going to come back again 3 to 6 months later, and I kind of just refuse to accept the same thing. We've talked about it before, but the game needs to get better. Doesn't need to get bigger. It needs to get better, not bigger.
I'm curious. I hope that's not the case with the 6-month update, because we're supposed to get multiple new maps. But I've been curious if something changed with like the design team, because I feel like the maps have, to me, in my opinion, just been degrading in quality since Aberfell. Like you guys know, I didn't like the Stronghold. It felt like a Chivalry map. It looks beautiful.
I think they're like maybe.
And I think this is even a step down from that.
Like Theik, I think they tried a little bit too much with the particle effects and stuff. So maybe they tried toning it down a bit. But like, I thought that Theik was okay. I think that. I think that this is probably one of their worst released maps, is sacking of Bridgetown. But
this is my point. If the only thing we can expect to see from updates is content, but the content is not satisfactory, what's going on? That like I'm fine with it. I like the content they add, but a lot of people don't. The competitive community is very dissatisfied with Bridgetown. They don't like it, and at least from the people that I talk to in the Discord servers. And like, that's fine for me. But if the only thing you're going to add is maps and stuff, it better be good.
I think that Bridgetown it needs more time. I need to play it more myself before I really, really judge it. But I can see why you're saying that. And if they're releasing something, it needs to be good. But I don't know. Ziggy,
I hate to put it like this, but they are never going to care about the competitive community. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. They don't want to make them angry, but they're never going to add something for the competitive community.
Yeah, I'm not saying that matter. It's just those are the only people I talk to. Obviously, I don't talk to the PS4 players that just bought bought the game for free. Like I don't talk to them. I can only go off of like the people I'm talking to, and those people are saying that they're not enjoying it so much they just stopped queuing in it. And they don't even want to play it. And even for Linespire with horses, right? A big part of the update, surprisingly, they're not playing Mounted Warfare. So it's like, you understand what I'm saying, right? We're only getting content, but they're not even enjoying the content. So what are they getting?
I had a comment on one of my YouTube videos a while back that stuck with me. And the guy, he's like, you have to remember the game is not made for you. It's made for the casual players. They don't want you in the server stomping people. They want the people who log on for an hour after work 2 or 3 times a week to have a good time. And that's really who they're trying to pull in.
Even
so
then.
Ziggy's 100% right. They don't care, what the competitive community thinks of it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's
even then, if that was the case, they wouldn't have released a weapon called the Cavalry Sword, because the casual players do not play Mounted Warfare. So they would have released a weapon called the Cutlass.
I think the casual players will be playing Mounted Warfare now because it's the first thing you click is the new map. But once the main screen goes back, everyone will be on 64.
You say that they don't care about horses and stuff, but do you actually know that? Like, let's be honest. Do you really hear from a guy who plays on his Xbox after work for an hour or two before he puts his kids to bed? You really don't hear from him. There's probably a large majority of console players who play like Mounted Warfare that just never say anything. What you're usually hearing is the casual hardcore community that are more vocal about their dislike for
that could be the case, but when I go in Mounted Warfare, my lobbies are more empty than when I go into 64. That's just a hard truth. My Mounted Warfare games are filled with tons of 10v10s, and that is a sad truth.
Well, Ziggy brings up a good point, though, because anyone commenting my YouTube videos, joining my Discord, commenting even on Reddit, has to like the game enough to go through that effort, so it's already a step above the ultimate casual.
Yes, so, I'm in the most populated region in the world for Chivalry 2, and I can't get full lobbies for Mounted Warfare. At peak times, by the way. If I try at not peak times, I don't even get to play Mounted Warfare sometimes. So it's like... Yeah, I really do think that there's a population problem that people don't like horses. I really don't think people like horses that much at all. I think the overwhelming majority of players completely neglect them, and that's just my thoughts. That's what from what I can see, because I play that exclusively. I don't play 64 player.
I mean, not having it on 64, man, though, I think is. I think that's the biggest issue there. On 40-man, like people like me, I like the horses, but I hate 40-man. So I like 64-man more than having horses. So I
Yeah.
play 64-man, right?
See,
I don't know. I think there's a
don't
lot of
even-
people like me as well. But I could be
I'm
wrong.
exactly the same.
All
let me,
anecdotal.
let me say that. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like horses if they were on 64 player, but it's not technically feasible, so it doesn't matter,
Well,
right?
Yeah,
It could be with some good optimization.
I'm actually not even that much of a horse hater, but to me, having to play Tenosia nonstop in the Mounted Warfare queue that's it for me. Like I cannot take any more Tenosia. Can't take the extra.
What would you do in the future if they had every map in that queue?
I wouldn't care if it went to 64. I think I would play it with very little bitching, honestly. I know there would be a very vocal crowd about it, but I wouldn't care.
I meant what if you had every map in Mounted Warfare, right? But it would still be 52 players, not
I would
64.
probably still wind up clicking 64.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go crazy if they put them in 64. I also think they made a mistake. At some point, old gens need to be. I'm gonna get roasted for this. Old gens need to be kind of phased out a little bit in game development. They're really old at this point. I have a PlayStation 4, and that shit got so much dust on it at this point.
The Xbox Series S is a new gen console, and it's about as strong as the Xbox One. So it's not that much stronger.
Listen, here there's a big problem with consoles, and for a long time people couldn't even get the new generation of consoles, so making a game on just the new gen was pointless because most people still had a PS4 and an Xbox One.
That is true.
Not only that, but there are games that are better looking, more intensive, and have more stuff in it that run on the old gen consoles. And Torn Banner's game is not pushing graphical fidelity. They have a optimization problem that they are just not addressing. And whether it comes from just Unreal 4 bloat, because that's a real issue, or just other things, they need to work on their optimization because that's the only way they can improve this game further. Like, other games can do it. Why can't they? Like, what Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA reboot, that one runs on old gen consoles, right? And that game looks great.
That game does look amazing.
What are they doing?
If you guys are saying that 64 player with horses is possible, then obviously that whole criticism goes out the window. But at the moment, they are quite literally attempting to split their fan base. Like they're purposefully doing it. They're like, please play Mounted Warfare instead of 64. And obviously they know that not everyone's going to do that. A lot of them are going to say, no, I'm going to play 64. I like that more.
Yeah.
And so it is literally like in half. And I don't know why. I don't know. I guess they want to get an ROI on horses, but at the moment, it doesn't seem realistic. So I don't know.
I can tell you why, because they spent so much time and resources on initially getting horses to function and work. I'm sure they had to pay for all the animations, the motion caps, all that stuff, that at this point they're not willing to take the loss on it. So we're doing horses no matter what, which is fine. It
could be fine, but at the moment,
I would much rather 64-player focus, since that's the flagship mode. It would make sense.
Well, yeah, like I told you, it's decent for me because I like horses and I like Mounted Warfare more, and I don't even play 64-player at all, right? I played it for over a year, and I'm like, no, never again. So obviously, right, you would think that I'd be
running out of modes to play here.
I know, right? You think I'd be biased towards them doing this, but I'm not. I really think that they should be focusing on the majority of their players, make what the majority of the players want. And the majority of the players don't want horses. So,
all right, boys. I think we got to start wrapping up the official episode here. But I know I'm going to stay on to answer some questions. I don't know if you boys have your chats going.
We didn't even talk about the Battle Pass. Did we?
We did not talk about the Battle Pass.
We haven't.
We talked about some of the content in it.
What do you guys think about the Battle Pass? And it's like, there was basically no cosmetics in the game that weren't on the Battle Pass, other than open helmets, but those are just variants, really.
I mean, I don't really give a shit about the Battle Passes, but I'm not cosmetic focused in general. You guys have been with me a while and know, when I hit the cosmetic bug, I didn't change it back for 6 months. So to me, it's there. If you want to buy it, you buy it.
That's because you play in first person.
You don't. Yeah, I don't see them anyways. It don't matter to me.
I actually care about the drip a lot, and I play first person. Yeah, I told you, the only thought that mattered, that Tenosian armor looks amazing. Shouldn't be on 2 classes. That's all.
The Halberd and the War Axe look really cool.
Yeah, I think the skins this time around look even better than the previous ones, and the armor sets look great. Solder has a qualm about them looking too similar or whatever, but they look sick.
They look exactly the same.
It's exactly what I expected from the battle pass. I mean, I don't even know what level I'm in because it's level 1 and then it's level 27 and then it's level 3. And
I'll
then...
tell you what's wrong. I'll tell you what's really wrong. Those alternate color differences, right, for the old Tenosian armors that are in the battle pass, they've had those done since Reinforced Update, and they have not released them until this battle pass. Content dripping.
Yeah.
Gross. Don't do that. Give them.
I don't want to fucking hear it. All right, you listen to me right now. They have had the golden sallet lowered like over the footman's eyes in the files since before the game came out, and I know that because they had press release like shit where they gave like press companies images that they can use to advertise, and there's a picture of the Gallancourt armor with the lowered golden sallet that we still don't fucking
and the painted sallet
You would call it content drip. Here at Torn Banner Studios, we call it pre-planning.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I hate that. It's so gross.
Well,
they've had the skin sale down for like 6 months.
I got a very resounding fuck the battle pass from the #1 console gamers, Abyss Gamer.
Look, I think it's worth it, right? I said in my video, decide for yourself. I think it's worth it to purchase the battle pass, but dude, that content dripping, greedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's as I said, they're slowly getting more corporate, more AAA, and that's the Call of Duty
Strata,
model,
I
right?
wouldn't care, but they advertised those armor sets as part of the Reinforced Update. They said, here's what's coming in the Reinforced Update, guys. Then the Reinforced Update comes around, you don't get it, they don't answer you when you ask them
now we're
going to
sell you the skin.
Exactly. Oh my god.
What a shit sandwich. That's fucked,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's fucked.
And
Oh,
yeah,
Elliot here
right.
mentions there's armor from Gallancourt that's still not in the game. Like there's a protector of Gallancourt armor and tattoos and things like that.
That's going to come in the next bundle that they're going to release next
Gallancourt
week.
Strikes Back.
Yeah, there's a lot of canceled
The
stuff like
champions of Agatha.
body types and tattoos are completely canceled, not in. Like, what happened to all that?
Let's see. Kamikaze says chances of a no volley first person only event. I think there's a chance a first person only event could come. I think it could come.
I don't think they're. I think that they're not really going to do anything too inventive with the events. I think
we're getting jousting.
I really
soon.
think that
we're getting jousting.
they're there.
Yeah. Arena joust. Arena joust.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I actually feel like Sky's going to really like that. I'm excited to play it.
I forgot about that. No, you guys
I don't know
are right.
if I'm going to play it
wrong,
more than an hour, but I'm excited for some jousting.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know
you'll
if
play
it'll
it for like
ever-
an hour and then probably not play it again.
I don't know if it'll ever live up to the Hiker Beck versus Crafty joust from the Circus
I had my
Maximus,
suggestions
but-
for timed events. Timed event number 1, first person only. Timed event number 2, no archer.
I'm sold.
Timed event number 3, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. Those 2 are goated, so.
Cannons would like to know if there's any weapons we would like nerfed or buffed. I'm kind of indifferent on this. I actually think one of the things they do really good is their weapon balancing. There's so many, like the Call of Duty model, the weapon's really good. They nerf it to the floor, so it's unusable. I feel like Torn Banner's really good at just slightly adjusting weapons. So I'm cool with the meta the way it is. As
Right now, I need more time to decide if anything needs a buff or not, but right now it feels pretty decent. But
any special attack that's the mace speed or faster needs to be slowed down. That's number 1. I think Halberd might need a nerf. Maybe Spear should get like a combo speed nerf or something like that. And I think that the pole hammer is obsolete now that handle hits are removed. Which, I mean, it's good that handle hits were removed, but that's all it had. Like, it doesn't do more special damage than Halberd, even by that much. Like, you'd think it does a ton. You can do 150 damage to a knight. It doesn't actually do that much more than Halberd. And Halberd has so much more range. You can cleave. The slashes do about the same damage. The stab does more damage on Halberd. It's just like, there's no reason to pick Polehammer over Halberd.
I wonder if PoleRiders.net still considers it number 1 after the changes.
It's statistics.
Do not type that in your browsers, anyone. Oh man. Fragus is going for a glaive buff. He said it's a useless weapon.
yeah, glaive. I could agree with that.
Glaive is dog shit. That's on my banned weapon.
My boy got a
requests.
200 takedown game with glaive.
Yeah, because he didn't get any kills.
He got 5 kills.
He got 5
Glaive-
kills.
Glaive is a weird weapon. If it was faster, like if you could move faster while you were holding it, it would be so much better. But Pullman is so slow, you don't really get too much out of it. Like if you pick up a Glaive on Man at Arms, you can actually be really effective because you can escape anybody's range. They can't catch you. You can just swing it a ton. The only thing they could do is like sprint at you and pressure you with teammates. And even then, it's not that bad at 1vx. It just does low damage.
Yeah,
Glaive
you
is
touch him
actually
up, you can't kill him.
Glaive specializes in a specific area that I feel like can be exploited very heavily. It's not. I don't actually think it's that bad at all. Same thing with War Club, even the Maul. Like the Maul's on the opposite end, where it's just doing so much damage, but it's got so many weaknesses. You know, it's a balance.
We have an interesting question. Does Dave stream? I want to follow. Yes, Dave is on YouTube, actually. Soder Dave. He also provides coaching, and I believe he also does male grooming classes.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so yes, you can follow him for all that stuff, especially the grooming. That's probably his expertise. I got a question of someone Cannons would like to see an Executioner Axe buff on Slash. That actually is probably how the weapon released when the game came out, and that was the original shitter stomper was the Executioner Axe, and it got nerfed down.
The original shitter stomper.
Yep, the OG shitter
all right,
stomper.
let's say you buffed it. Right? Let's say you did buff the slash damage. Just buff the light. Don't buff the heavy, because the heavy damage is fine.
I've got scary information that you may not have even realized. The Dane Axe does more damage on every single attack, or the same damage as the Executioner Axe. The overhead does more damage. The stab does more damage. The special does more damage. The throw, more damage. The Dane Axe is an upgrade in terms of damage to the Executioner Axe in every single way. There's not a single thing other than reach that it does better.
Don't forget the throw.
I'm not forgetting the throw. Just think about that. The Poleaxe slash did 40 damage before the Thigh Axe
The Danax got noobed because the dodge Danax noobs got nerfed.
I will say I look a little bit differently at the Dane X1 tricks. It's just like a little eye rolling, you know. But I don't really.
They need it.
Whatever.
It's weird because the Dane Axe isn't an overpowered weapon, but it's just so overtuned. It doesn't need it all. It doesn't need all of it.
I think Dane Axe for a lot of people becomes a little bit of a crutch and teaches bad habits. You can get really good with Dane Axes without actually understanding the combat system.
You put on that one skin and you get 2 Dane Axes, you got 2 pairs of crutches.
There you go, baby. This is a good one. Does Dave offer full body grooming advice? I'm not going to answer that one. I'll let him.
Full body grooming advice, huh? Okay. 1. Shave more. That's pretty much it.
There's no number. Okay.
That's the first tip, right? I mean, yeah, it'll take him a while to figure that one out, but after that, I'll give him the next tip.
Anchorman would like a Warbow buff, and I'm assuming he's trolling.
Do you guys want to talk about archers at all?
No.
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 I want to kill him. That's it. Randy said baby Dave. Let's go, baby. What's up, Randy? Anyone else have any questions? Because I don't know if Ziggy, if your chat has any. If not, we'll start wrapping it up here.
I don't. Should Engineer get a secondary or a buff in any way at all?
Oh, we didn't talk about the place.
I heard
the
they
barrier
broke Engineer
Yeah, dude,
walls.
the barrier placements are like all over the place now.
Oh, I forgot to say that.
Yeah,
that's
I completely forgot about comp being destroyed.
Yeah,
all the desertion zones in LTS are actually like screwed to where if you enter them, you can't leave them.
And you can't
so
even
you just
place
kill
a
yourself.
banner down now. Like there's some.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
That's what you get for retreating, Dave. Don't retreat
no, you don't understand. Like they'll like close in on you throughout the match, so then the entire
it's
map
like
becomes
Battle Royale.
Yeah, like exactly, but except like random and it's so bad. It's so bad. You have no
When
idea.
LTS first released, I thought it was going to be like 10 teams of 4 on the map, like Battle Royale, and just the last team with someone alive wins. And
that's what Deadliest Warrior was.
That was not at all what it was. Oh God, we got people in the chat talking about Scotty and their moms again. I don't know what weird cult he
my
leads
God.
over
Nice.
there, but apparently
Nice.
sacrificing your mother to Scotty's bedroom is part of it.
He has a nice bedroom.
Whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
Look, you were asking about like the limited time game modes, and I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about they could just steal so many ideas from other games that are popular, and there's no reason for them not to, and they just don't. Battlefield Conquest, King of the Hill,
Yeah.
any of these game modes, you can do a ton of shit, and they
Those
just
take
don't.
effort. Those take
What's
a lot
up
of
with-
effort to make.
They got all these maps. Like, look, you could take Roothelm to make that into like 3 team deathmatch maps if you want, like different variants, free for all maps. You could just turn all these maps into other maps. You can reuse the content you've already made. There's no reason not to. They just don't. Like, think about the middle of.
I did a lot of data mining on what we're going to be getting in the future, and we can talk about that next episode.
How the fuck do you know how to data mine?
It's not hard. It's not hard. There's a ton of free programs
Sounds like
like
the Sunder
F-Model.
shit I would expect.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's not hard at
It's
all.
really. I got F model on my computer. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I'm
it's-
the
it's
only one who
easy.
doesn't know how to data mine. Scotty,
Yeah,
you
pretty
know how to
much.
do that shit?
I mean, I've never done
How
it.
do you
but
think we?
I'm-
How do you think
I'm
we
sure
found
I could
about
figure it
the
out.
Golden Dog? We didn't have to
I
dig
didn't
far.
know it was Dave in the
Yeah,
basement.
I'm not joking. You open up F model and you go into the folder in Chivalry 2 that says weapons, and then there's a new one in there that says Golden Dog.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that hard.
It sounds difficult.
It's a little.
You know me, man. I'm not too techie. I always get the that's why I'm always tagging the Discord. Fix this shit for me. Like, what's wrong? Sunder. What's the problem?
I ask Under for a lot of tech advice too.
Yeah, he's the go-to man. When I'm screwed, I just tag him, and he gave me a long list of things to try. I have the feeling on that, like the changing the content, like as you talked about the conquest and stuff. To me, I have the feeling that if you guys ever played PUBG or Escape from Tarkov, there's the case of spaghetti code that you make a change to the game, and there are a lot of things that then can go wrong. And I have the feeling that's why they can't make content quickly.
Wait, are you telling me this game might not be coded well?
I didn't say that.
No way, dude. That can't be it.
I think
can't be.
I think that's the reason. It's got to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Have we
I
ever?
don't wanna-
Have we
I
ever
know
had
nothing about coding, but I've played a few games on Steam.
Strider, you don't have to. Have we ever had an update that released without issues?
I don't.
The
I'm
beta?
gonna say probably no.
The beta.
The beta. Didn't the beta? You couldn't party in the beta.
Yeah, you can party in the
yeah.
beta.
I'm trying to think of
Oh,
even
wow.
the last game I played that didn't have issues with an update, but there's got to. Yeah.
Breath of
I'm
the
trying
Wild.
to think. My memory is so shitty.
I got a hot take. I think Unreal 4 is a bad engine, and I think people need to stop using it. I don't think Unreal 5 is going to be much better either. I think it's just
told
going to
you.
look nice.
I told you the next goated slasher is going to be on Source 2.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think Source 2 is a good engine.
Yeah, I mean, that
got my own
Redfall,
feelings
what
on
was
the next
Redfall,
slasher.
Unreal 5, that game that just came out, that was
I
just
heard
like
that was
absolutely
terrible.
terrible. That was
Here-
Unreal 5.
Do you guys remember a couple years ago when Unity games were like really big and there was just a ton of shitty Unity games all over? Well, that's just Unreal 4 now, except AAA developers use Unreal 4.
Yeah.
People are using the really good accessible tools to just shit out games like it doesn't matter. And I feel like what happens is you get these people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm Unreal Engine 4 developer qualified. And then I don't want to be rude.
Yeah, you
They
get
make,
a lot of
they make
like.
games like this.
You're right. Even the AAA, like I played this RTS called Company of Heroes 3, and like, bruh, it's like Unreal 4. Like, bro, what? I'm playing an RTS. Why? And that, it's just like everything's being made on Unreal 4. Open world, Unreal 4.
And for
Call of
anybody who's
Duty,
not
Unreal
worked,
4.
for somebody who hasn't worked in Unreal 4 before, it's a very powerful engine that is so bloated. It's full of absolute garbage, and it lacks such basic tools. Like I was making a mod for a game called Into the Radius, and it was amazing. Like it can do so much, and then you can't do basic functions. Like I wanted to select like 100 items in a row. You can only select one at a time. It's like what the fuck? What do I do? How can an engine be so refined and so shit at the exact same time? And why the hell does everybody make fucking games on it?
Epic Games.
Because they
Also,
look
because
good
it's-
and you can make a
it's free.
trailer, baby. All you
Yeah.
need to do is make a trailer now these days.
Just make a good trailer.
Yeah.
Dude, it works, man.
Marketing.
A good trailer
Yeah,
will
dude,
sell
marketing,
you, man.
baby.
I'm still, I've seen no actual gameplay, but I'm so hyped for Blight Survival if that ever actually comes to.
That's what Torn Banner's best
it
at.
works.
Torn Banner's best at
Torn Banner
trailers
makes
now.
great trailers. They make
Yep.
great trailers, I will say.
They spam the slow motion though. Like every
I
5
am-
seconds in the trailer is slow motion.
Whatever they
very
do, it's
excited.
epic. It's epic. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap up. Send everyone off the game here. Thank you everyone for joining us in the chats and supporting the podcast. Ziggy, thank you for joining us as always,
man. I
Coach.
gotta take off this
Mr.
jacket, it's
Scotty. Yeah, how much is Ziggy sweating right now?
Yeah, Ziggy,
What,
what's
my-
the
my
deal,
6
man?
jacket?
You need
Oh,
some
yeah, I
a
thought-
heater in there or what?
If you guys did not know,
80
Ziggy
degrees in
Lotta
here.
lives in Antarctica. Fun fact.
No, it's
about
like
him.
80 degrees in here. I just put on the jacket because I thought it'd be funny.
Oh, okay.
Oh god.
I've been over here dying.
Oh my gosh. Yep. That's interesting. All right, boys. I'm gonna end our recording, our official cast here. Love to all. I'm gonna take a little break and then I'll be on to game a little bit.
Alrighty,
pleasure,
see you
everyone.
guys. Peace out.
Goodbye.
Boys.
Yeah, this is fun.